right, I'm back. And I found, remember that these 2 pages I found that I had put aside. So I went and I found a couple other digital pages, and I kind of changed the color in them in Photoshop so that they would match what we're doing. So I want to go ahead and trim those down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fold this. I'm not going to move my cutter yet to see, because we're going to have to cut it down to size. And let's see, we've got 5 3/8. So let's see where we're at. 1 2 3/8, perfect, by 7 7/8. Let's go 7 7/8. It looks like we're going to have to trim a little off the bottom. And let's do another. Okay, who taught this girl how to fold? Okay, let's try that again. Now we know that the width is good, so I'm just going to do the 7 7/8 this way and cut that white trim off the bottom. Okay, so these 2, and I'll put this sheet aside in case we want to use it for ephemera, but now that I have these 2, now I have 2 extras, I can add those to our signatures. So we have 4 signatures, and they go just like this. And so I think I'm going to, let's add this one to here, which means we will also add it to here. What I'm doing is just trying to keep every other signature the same, so it doesn't repeat too quickly in the book. And we'll do this. Okay, there's our signatures. I want to make sure in our book they're good. May want to cut them down just a hair, I don't know. I'm looking at them, and I don't know, if you put them this way they kind of fit, but I think there are some longer pages. The ones in the center probably need to be trimmed down just a hair. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and, off camera, I will trim them all down a bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch, and then we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll stop the camera and I'll come back once I get them all trimmed. Okay, let's put these together and see if they fit now better. I think they will. They just needed to be trimmed a little bit. there's our 4. Let's put them in the book and see how they fit. Oh, way better. So they're much smaller. They're much lower here. We have about, I only cut them down about 1/8 of an inch. So I think our pages are good. So we can start embellishing. So something that I found, I do have part of the downloads that I did. Let me find here. I'm gonna just set this book aside for now. Part of the downloads were these envelopes. These are the, I think this is the one I reduced, and I'm thinking that that's gonna probably be a better size for in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and move these aside and put those for another journal. And we're gonna go ahead and cut these out here. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my scissors as I cut them out. And we'll see how they fit and see if we need to make any adjustments. Okay, so it looks like we need to fold these. Oh, there we go. We just need to glue these right here. Okay, so those we'll put aside with our journals and our pages. And these are the tags that I printed out, and I printed a couple sheets because I think I'm going to use some as tags, but I may just use some as cards where I would just cut this off. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I've got these tags cut out. And we have our envelopes that we need to glue yet. So just a little disclaimer. I noticed that when I reviewed the last video, I was doing some editing, that the sound was in and out, high and low, depending, like if I shut the camera off to do something and then came back. So just please bear with me. This is the first series of videos I'm doing on a how-to. So I'm learning as I go. Anyways, I think we need to start making some ephemera. The other thing is, when I was off camera and I was cutting these, I found some other papers and I have added them to our signatures. So I just kind of wanted to show you that what we did is we left off and we changed some papers around. So I've added a couple of extra pages to these. If you remember, like we were at this point and I added some more paper. I just wanted to make them a little thicker. I think that we certainly had enough space to make them a little thicker, and I think that now decorating the pages, we're going to have a nice full journal. So I wanted to show you that I did add some pages. I also found some old wallpaper digitals that we may use or we may add. I'm not sure. I'm kind of really liking, like if you look at some of these compared to, here's the cover. I was looking at some of the, yellow or gold ones I thought were so pretty. Even this is so pretty and would match quite well to that cover. That one would definitely match. So we can use these for some ephemera or, ooh, look how pretty that one is. But anyways, I'll put those aside. The other thing is, I did find that I was trying to create some little mini folders and trying to figure that out, how to make little mini folders with pockets. And I came up with something like this. And I thought if I could get this pocket in like that, then it's a little tuck area and a little folder, and that could also go in here. So I've got some cool ideas for our first how-to journal. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and we want to glue these envelopes. And really all we need to do is just glue this to here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my glitter glue. And we'll just go ahead and glue those. Okay, so we've got these two already glued. And then I have these tags, and I was thinking that I just wasn't crazy over this edge of these. So I'm thinking I want to take at least one of them and try using my corner rounder. If I can find it, oh here we go, my corner rounder. And see if I can't round those off instead of making them, excuse me, instead of them being like that squared off. I don't know. I'm not crazy over that. So let's see if, this may not work. We'll see. Let's use the 1/2 inch and see if it even, oh, it does round it. I just like that a lot better. I don't know, let me hold it against something so you can see it. See, there's the squared one, and there's the rounded one, and I just like that rounded one better. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can round this one as well. Oh yeah, I like the looks of that better. And then I can distress here where I trimmed it, yeah. Way better. So we've got that, and then because I'm new to journaling, I don't have a lot of stuff to decorate with and that, so I tend to decorate with pieces of paper or little pieces of ribbon. I do have some lace. Let me look and see what I have. Okay, so I've got some kind of cream colored lace that I like. I guess the blue really doesn't match, so I'll put that back. But I also have this color here is kind of pretty. Piece of this. Let's give this a little. Just trim this end off. I'll put that right there. I'm also a very messy crafter. I'm kind of OCD until it comes to this, and then I'm all over the board with supplies, and I really like that. Let's see if we can. Maybe we should do like this. And then, you know what I did this weekend? Let me see if I can find them. I did some little embossing, some embossed words. Ooh, that love might be pretty. So maybe I'll cut this down. Let's see if I cut this. And maybe let's put a little 1/4 of an inch. See if we can do a 1/4 of an inch round without, yeah. Look at that, maybe this will work. Oh, I really like it. Okay, so I'll trim this. I really need. I'll trim this to here. Get these out of the way. Okay. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac for putting the lace onto this material. So I'm just going to put a little Fabri-Tac right across here. I've got another bottle of this, but I was kind of hoping to use this up first. So we'll put a little of that on there. We'll do that, right? And then some Fabri-Tac on here. Whenever you're using material, attaching material to something, this Fabri-Tac is phenomenal. I watched some other journal makers and I kind of replicated their glues because I was really concerned about when you make journals, you want them to hold together well, and these other people that make these journals really have, I'm sure, experimented, but their journals are lovely and they hold together really well. So okay, so I don't know if I want to do like this. That tag is going to go in like that, so maybe let's distress the corners of our tag. Right there. Okay, and then I take our little hole reinforcers and I just use my distress ink and I distress them different colors depending on what I'm doing. So let's put a couple of those on there. Okay, do this. The front of this does not need distressing, but the back certainly does. And these tags, when you put them in, they're such great journaling spots when you put them in a journal. So yes, they're decoration, but they're also really good journaling spots. Okay. I think I'm just gonna distress that little lace and material a little. Okay, so we've got a card done. We like it. Okay, now let's see, what can we do with this one? Got some paper here that we could maybe Look, I have another card. This says trust, but I was looking for one that has more, like this has this kind of orangey or brown color. Let's see if we can find one that has more brown in it that could take that word. Like, that's kind of a duplicate of that, right? That we could use the word trust and it would be in that orangey color. That might work. I just didn't necessarily want to use the same tag, but let me see. That one would work, wouldn't it? If I put the word trust on there with, I don't know. Let's see. I think this one might be better. So let's use that one. Okay, and we know that we want to put our hole reinforcers on, so let's go ahead and do that right now. The hole reinforcers, just, I just really like them on there. I don't know. Some people don't put them on, but I just love them. Okay. Let's go ahead and distress our back side. Then I'm going to trim down the word. And we'll corner round with the 1/4 inch corner rounder and hopefully not cut anything off. Oh, very good. And to be honest, I think I could cut just a hair off this bottom and still get a good round on it and make the tag just a little smaller. So let's see if that'll work. Oh yeah, that looks better. Okay, and we'll go ahead and distress that. Okay. I do make kind of a mess when I work, that's for sure. I don't in my art, but boy, with these journals, I sure do. Okay, and I kind of like this paper, and I'm thinking that that would be kind of pretty. I do. Let's see. We could use this piece of material here and the word trust. What do you think? I think that looks really cool. So let's go ahead and do that. So paper on paper, I can just use my glue stick. I do have a little thing I use when I glue. I know some people use book pages when they glue, and then they use the pages for cards, and I'll get there. Just learning, so. Okay, I want to put this on right here, kind of straight that way. Oh, I wanted to distress this edge of this paper so it wasn't white. I probably should have done that before I glued. Haha. Okay, that looks okay. And we already distressed this, and this we can just put on with a little Fabri-Tac. such a little piece. I'm gonna put it this way because I kind of like it long ways. Keeps in keeping with the tag being long. And then I'm gonna use the glitter glue for the tag, just so it's nice and secure. This glitter glue holds really well. Okay. Okay, so now we've got those two tags there. And they'll look good, and we have our envelopes. So now we can put these aside. And I'm thinking that I want to figure out these journal cards here. If I want to cover them, thinking I really liked these papers, so we might be able to use these papers. Wouldn't that be pretty? So let's go ahead and cut these papers. I'm going to trim off the papers. I'll stop the camera and just trim off these papers so that they all of the white is cut off, and it'll make it easier for me to figure out what I want to use for this project. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut the edges off my different papers. I thought these three were going to match pretty well for these folders. I haven't decided if I really want to cover up the entire folder or not. So with that in mind, what I do know is I really like this for the front. So I want to cut a piece that will fit right here. So for me, the easiest way to do that is to go ahead and line it up. I could measure and all of that, but I'm going to cut it just a hair short. So I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to cut inside those lines. Okay, so I know I need to go to there, and I know that my thing is right there. Okay, and my line somewhere around there. So I'm going to cut right inside of those lines and make it, I guess I'm thinking maybe maybe an 1/8 shy. I don't know. Let's try this. I'm going to cut right to here. Again, my cutter's like not real great, so I'm gonna have to finish this up by hand, but it'll give me a good idea. And we can then measure it and trim it off. I just want a little bit of that folder showing. So let's hold that on there and see. Okay, so as you can see, we could go a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna cut a little bit off this edge, straighten it up, and a little off this edge. Let's see, there's where our hole would be. So if we go like this, I don't know, I really think it could be a little smaller even yet. I like the distance on the top and the bottom. I just think there needs to be more on the sides. So with that, I really am loving this side here, but I want to just even it off. If you can see here, I'm just going to even it, and then I'm going to take a little more off the other end. But once I even it, I want to check it again and make sure I'm not taking too much. See if I leave that much, then yeah, I just need to take a little bit more off. But like I said, I like this side, so I'm going to trim off this end here. Maybe about that much. Okay, I like it. Okay, now with that in mind, I need to create a new circle. You can't just cut the circle because I want it to go down below. So I need it to go about like, okay, so here to here is where I need my circle cutter. I think this is all trial and error here because I've not done this before. I'm going to put this in and try to line up my cutter to the lines that I drew after, which it would be about there. Let's see. Let us see how that looks. Ooh, that looks pretty good. It looks like I went down a little low, but I think we're good. We'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be good. We might want to just trim that a little bit. I think if I don't put it in so far, I wonder if I can make it a little. Oh, it looks like I'm going to have to do that a little bit by hand. Just. Not trust yourself. I don't trust myself ever. Okay, so with that in mind, it looks like I want to go just a little bit like that to even that out a little bit. Okay, let's try it and see what happens. How does that look? Oh yeah, that looks better. That looks better. Okay, so we're gonna do that on the outside, and I love it. And this one can just be a solid piece. Okay, and there's no hole, so I can actually just measure this and make it. So it's 7 1/4, so I'll make it 7 by 4 3/4. So we'll make it 7 by 4 3/4. So if I make it 7, trying to save as much paper. This is, I have 7 this way, so I can do 4 3/4 this way. Okay, 4 3/4. This way I can save as much paper. I can save 5, 7. Just wonked out. So let's see if we can salvage this a little bit. I might have to make it a little less than 7. Let's see. And I think we'll be fine. I'll just go ahead and ink the edges and we're good to go. What do you think? Okay. We're going to ink the edges of our folder first. Ink the edges edges of our paper. Let's see. That'll be perfect. Yep, that'll be very pretty. Okay. And then we want to ink the sides of this paper. Sometimes it doesn't seem to matter, but what happens is when you cut the paper, you have this white edge, and it does show sometimes against a background. So it's nice to just distress the edges, and then you don't see that stark white line. Plus it looks a lot more homemade. Okay. So again, paper to paper, I can just use my glue stick. So that's what we're gonna do here. I think that will work. It looks so pretty. Just really like it. And then our back. Okay. And then we do need a strip to go in here. I just want to verify my size. I think I can make it the same as this one, maybe a little shorter. So this one is 4 3/4. 4 3/4 by 7. Hopefully my cutter won't mutilate it. Okay, so we know that we have 7 this way. So we can go 4 3/4. I can feel it starting to kind of rip it. Okay. Let's see how this one looks. If I put it right about there, close that. Oh, I like it. Okay, so there's our folder. Now we have a pocket though, so we've got our front and our back. We can do this side as well. I do it because I don't think I can get that same cut with this. Maybe. See if that'll work. I think that'll work. Not the greatest, but it'll work. And again, paper to paper, we can use our glue stick. Okay. I should have, see, this is how you learn. This is when you learn. I should have distressed the edges of the paper before I put that in as well. And I didn't, so I'm learning. Okay, but that looks good. And the same with this side. And we need to distress this fold so it's in line with everything else. I'm going to go ahead and distress this edge. Sorry about Sully's barking. Okay, I think we're good.